Welcome to This Week in Ames. I'm your host, Tony Uglini, and on today's show, we're checking in with Public Works. Our guest today is Justin Clausen. Thanks for being on the show today.
You're welcome.
Justin, what do you do on a daily basis, and how long have you been with the city?
I've been with the city since 2011, so that's, I gotta do the math here, 6 years now. On a daily basis, it's a little bit of everything. So in the Public Works Operations Department, primarily we take care of things such as street maintenance. So you think in potholes, street patching. We also take care of the water main maintenance and the sanitary sewer maintenance as well. So the things that kind of go into everyone's daily life that maybe you don't think about, those are kind of what our task with us from a daily basis. But we also seem to get all the little things that no one thinks about, that no one knows where they really fit in a municipal setting. So we might get calls about, flooding is something that comes to us. Snow and ice control is obviously a big deal for us. Someone has a couch that's left on a curbside and they're afraid that someone might go light it on fire. Well, we might go grab that before that happens. So it's things like that we have equipment and people and resources that can take care of it. So you never know what you're going to get on a daily basis in my job. You kind of come into work with a plan and then you kind of go with the flow wherever it takes you. So it's interesting that way that we have lots of things that we can do and lots of places that we can be. But overall, just looking to better the community.
It seems very eventful.
It can be, yes, absolutely.
So there are 3 projects that we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
And the first project is the Grand Avenue Stairs project.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah, so the Grand Avenue Stairs, it's we call it the Grand Avenue Stairs. It's really close to the intersection of Grand and Lincoln Way on the northwest side of the intersection there near the credit union. So there's a set of stairs there that's probably been several decades old now. I mean, it might even be up into the 60 years old. So it's an old concrete stair, and I want to say about 2 years ago, it had started failing to the point that we had to close it. We had concrete breaking off, some reinforcing steel was showing through. It was just showing signs of massive deterioration. We had to do something. So at that point in time, we started evaluating what's the right way to do it, how to replace it, what to replace it. It's in a really tough access area. It's tough to get to. It's up on a really steep slope, so it's not necessarily easy. So what we ended up with was a set of aluminum stairs we're going to place instead. The reason we're switching from concrete to aluminum has to really do with the maintenance side of things. We have to remove snow and ice from those stairs for the community. And this aluminum has a type of open grading on it. It's still compatible with the Americans Disability Act and all those regulations. But the open grading is going to allow snow and ice accumulation to fall through it. We still probably have to go out there and brush it off. But the maintenance level should go way down. Okay. The lifespan should go way up. We're hoping to get 60 to 70 years out of these stairs as well. And work started this week. So we started taking out the old stairs on Monday of this week. And we'll be continuing, getting ready to install the new stairs. We haven't done this sort of thing before, so I'm hopeful we'll have it done in about 2 weeks. Okay. But we'll have to see what we get into. It may take a little longer, maybe it'll go faster than I think.
Yeah.
We're not doing this every day, but this is one of those things that comes up and kind of falls to us. So that's kind of the story with that. There's been a lot of push and desire from the neighborhood to get these restored. So we're happy to get that done, and hopefully they can see them very soon now.
Yeah, and another part of our community is shared use paths, and just like roads, they also need maintenance. So can you tell the viewers what parts of the paths are going to be getting facelifts? Yeah,
so we're going to start a large program here that's going to take care of some of I call them the bumps in the shared use path. So you would see every 40 to 50 feet there's it's called an expansion crack, to where when the asphalt gets real warm, it pushes against each other. Then here in Iowa, when it gets cold, it shrinks and the crack forms. So as you're riding your bike down the path, all of a sudden you feel that bump. We're going to try to take care of those. And so the problem that we've had is most of the industry is, and when I say industry, I'm talking about like street reconstruction, street maintenance. It's geared towards the street side. So you're talking about, 30-foot wide roadways. So the equipment is sized to that sort of stuff. The techniques are sized to that. So when we start getting into an 8-foot shared use paths that have trees on both sides and it's a mile down the path to get even access to it,
Yeah.
it starts getting difficult on how can we do that and do it effectively. So what we've got a product that we're going to bring into town. It's technically called a mastic type product. So think of an asphalt tar, and it's made to take care of these wider joints and level them out. The crew will pull a trailer, and the tar is it's called a hot pot in the back. It's kind of a 250, 300 degree mix, and they pour it out and then they level it off, and then it cures pretty quickly behind that. And so they'll just be going down the paths, fixing those joints. So that's been a big priority for us. I know as the multimodal, community really takes hold here in Ames. The past couple of years, we've really been moving forward with some of that. We need to take some of these paths that aren't ready to be replaced yet, that just need a little maintenance. And we're thinking that this is going to be a very useful solution. So we're gonna introduce this in the community. And then one other thing that we're going to try to do is, if we have paths that are maybe, as I said, not ready to be replaced yet, but we're going to have a lot of these joints put in, we've got a surface sealer that we're going to try on some of these locations as well. Basically, we're just trying to make the overall experience better for the users, and bring that curve back, so we're coming back uphill with things and making them look a little bit better, and hopefully can continue that going forward.
Okay, yeah. And the last project that we are going to talk about today is the sanitary sewer lining project. Can you tell us what a sanitary sewer is and how it differs from a storm sewer?
Absolutely. This is a big project for us here within the city. So the difference between a sanitary and storm sewer is, if you think anything inside your house or business that you would put down a drain, so if you wash your hands, you take a shower, you flush the toilet, that sort of stuff, that all goes into the sanitary sewer. So all that water needs to go down to the water treatment plant and be treated. So a storm sewer, on the other hand, is what you think of a rainfall event. So water falls on the streets or on the sidewalks, and it flows into the curbs, and then it gets into the storm sewer there. So those are two separate systems. The storm sewer goes through a set of pipes eventually into a body of water. So it may go into Squaw Creek, it may go into the Skunk River, not being treated, not being filtered or anything, because it's typically just rainwater. Where the sanitary has to be treated before it can be released in there. So with the sanitary sewer evaluation that started about 5 years ago, we went through the entire city, looked at the entire sanitary sewer system. Okay. And that's important because Ames is growing extremely fast. Yeah. So we need to make sure we have capacity for those places that are growing and new developments. And then B, because we have an existing sanitary sewer plant that can only take a finite gallons per minute of water. So if we keep expanding and keep growing, the plant's going to hit a threshold where it has to be expanded and grow. And that's hundreds of millions of dollars to do. So before we get to that point, we want to look at our sanitary sewer system and say, how can we help with the flows going in there? So we want to separate the storm flow from the sanitary flow. So what this lining project is doing is we're making some I call them spot repairs in the sanitary system, where maybe we've got some small breaks in pipes, not big enough that it causes an issue, but enough that it might take a little groundwater. So we had some contractors going through, you might have seen them in the Campus Town area, because we're trying to focus on that during this summer, make those repairs, and then once they're all done, the contractor will come back with these large, they're kind of like large steam trucks. So what they do is they pull a liner into the sanitary sewer, so underground, you won't see it, and then they inflate it on the inside, and it takes the shape of the inside of that sanitary sewer, and then they cure it with steam. So it takes a few hours to cure out, and then you've got a really hard liner inside there. And what that does is that keeps all the groundwater from coming in from the outside. It makes the pipe smoother, and by making the pipe smoother, it can take more flow because it can shed the water faster. Okay. And so we're really focusing on the Campus Town area right now, because Iowa State's out of fall and spring session. There's typically less people in the apartments and whatnot. So what the residents and the viewers are probably going to see is some of these lining going on in the Campus Town area over the next probably month and a half. We're really going to push to get that done. and then they'll probably move into more residential areas.
Okay.
So we're primarily working in the campus town area, and then I would say what you might think of southwest Ames. We've identified those two areas as the first areas for this kind of project.
Yeah.
So we're also, in the middle of this, also evaluating the rest of the city to see, are there other locations this needs to be done? How can we, help with capacity and that sort of stuff? And I think there'll be a few more of these types of projects in the future. But it's a really important project to basically separate that storm and sanitary and keep those two apart for, the longevity of the city.
Yeah. Well, lots of events happening, I feel.
Yes, lots of stuff going on. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a little bit different every day, and that's a daily occurrence in our work.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being on the show today, Justin.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Don't forget to go out to Bandshell Park and enjoy a free concert. Every Thursday night in July, the Ames Municipal Band takes stage at 8 with the pre-concert show at 7. Well, that's our show for today. Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in next week for This Week in Ames.